Paul Newman, The Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man, a Memoir. Embark on a compelling journey through the extraordinary life of Paul Newman as he navigates his way from a difficult childhood to achieving superstardom. In The Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man, a Memoir, we delve into Paul's complex relationships, his struggles, and his search for identity. This summary will explore Paul's path through the U.S. Navy, college, and his eventual rise to fame as an iconic actor. Witness how Paul manages the challenges of personal life and the demands of fame, using his status to make a positive impact with his philanthropic ventures.
Paul Newman's childhood. Paul Newman's childhood was dominated by his mother's desire for a perfectly decorated home, which made him feel like just another decoration. Paul also struggled with his sense of identity, torn between the decorative boy his mother wanted him to be and the orphaned sense of self he felt inside. His father, Art, rebelled against his mother's strict regime, leading to clashes and arguments. As a result of his family dynamic, Paul developed emotional walls that affected his ability to communicate and connect with others. Paul Newman's journey to Hollywood. Paul Newman's journey to Hollywood started with his experience in the Navy, acting in plays, and running a successful laundry business in college. Paul Newman, a legendary actor, had always been industrious since he was young. Even as a 13-year-old, he was earning $40 a week by selling Fuller brush products door to door. After enrolling at Ohio University, he enlisted in the Navy as he knew he would be called for duty soon, and was sent to Saipan after training in Hawaii. When the war ended, Paul Newman was honorably discharged, and he decided to go back to college. He attended Kenyon College in Ohio, where he began to seriously develop an interest in acting. Despite his outstanding performance in various plays, Paul didn't enjoy acting as much as he loved building sets and preparing for performances. Newman's love for drinking, however, was evident in his drinking habits. He consumed beer excessively, which he attributed to the unpredictability and exuberance of drinking than acting. After graduation, he was proud of starting a laundry business. His business idea was deemed preposterous, but he attracted students by offering a free beer if they brought their clothes for laundry. His business thrived and made every other student laundry service defunct. Paul was able to sell the company before leaving town, which he considers his real success story in college. In summary, Paul Newman's journey to Hollywood started with his experience in the Navy, his passion for acting, and running a successful laundry business in college. His unwavering work ethic and determination became the foundation for his rising career in Hollywood. Paul Newman's journey. Paul Newman was a legendary actor, but his journey to success wasn't easy. The actor faced many struggles in his personal life, including a difficult childhood and a failing marriage. However, he was able to persevere through his ambition and love for acting. This summary follows Paul's journey from an overindulgent student to a struggling father, and then to a rising star in the entertainment industry. We explore his time at Yale School of Drama and how it propelled him to his next journey in New York City. Paul Newman's early years in acting. Paul Newman's journey towards becoming a celebrated actor wasn't an easy one. After getting accepted into the actor's studio in the early 50s, the young Newman felt overshadowed and struggled to keep up with his classmates. However, his Broadway debut in Picnic helped him tap into a powerful, newfound energy that ultimately led to his star-making turn. Despite the stress and guilt of his affair with co-star Joanne Woodward, Newman's career flourished with roles in films like Somebody Up There Likes Me and The Long, Hot Summer. It was also during this time that Newman found love and married Joanne, with whom he spent the rest of his life. Paul Newman, from hesitant actor to philanthropic icon. Paul Newman's rise to fame was not an easy journey, as he struggled with questions about his acting abilities. Despite being a sex symbol, Newman felt a need to separate himself from his looks and prove his talents. This struggle led to his involvement in politics, civil rights, and race car driving. However, fame also had a dark side, as Newman dealt with personal struggles, including the tragic loss of his son to addiction. Nevertheless, he was able to turn his life around by seeking therapy and making better choices for himself and his family. Later in life, Newman became involved in philanthropic endeavors, including a line of food products and a camp for children with serious illnesses. Despite his success as an actor, it is Newman's philanthropy that has left the biggest impact on those around him. Paul Newman was a reluctant movie star. Although everyone around him saw him as a decorative boy with piercing blue eyes, he was always suspicious that his fame was not solely due to his talent. Newman was a man who wanted to be known for more than just his looks. He wanted to be recognized for his abilities as an actor, and to ensure he achieved this, he put himself through intense criticism, constantly questioning whether he was a good actor or just a pretty face. This self-doubt was further compounded by the fact that many people mistook him for Marlon Brando. When Cat on a Hot Tin Roof was released in 1958, Newman was becoming fed up with the Hollywood system. However, his growing fame gave him the clout he needed to choose his projects wisely and support causes that mattered to him. He became increasingly involved in politics and civil rights and supported Democratic presidential candidates throughout the 1960s and 70s. Newman's work culminated in his appointment to the United Nations Conference on Nuclear Disarmament in 1978. In the 1960s, Newman also discovered a love of race car driving. After starring in the 1969 movie, Winning, Newman became more involved in car racing throughout his life and eventually started his own racing team, winning over 100 championships. Although fame afforded Newman the opportunity to pursue important causes, it also had a dark side. His son, Scott, followed in his father's footsteps and entered the entertainment industry, but he struggled with addiction, leading to his tragic death in 1978. Newman questioned whether his career choices had adversely affected his children, and as he looked back on his life, he realized that he had not always acted in the best interests of his family. Seeking therapy, Newman was able to make positive changes in his life and make better choices for his family in his later years. Despite his struggles, Newman achieved great success as an actor, earning an Academy Award for his role in the 1986 film, The Color of Money. However, it was Newman's philanthropic endeavors that had the greatest impact on his life and the world around him. He co-founded Newman's Own, donating all profits to charity, and created the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp for children with serious illnesses. Newman's philanthropy has left a lasting legacy and is perhaps the accomplishment that touched him most deeply. As he said himself, finally, after 6 decades of being a decorative boy, Paul Newman was starting to feel complete, like one person.
In this emotional memoir, we witness Paul Newman's transformation from his unassuming childhood in Ohio to becoming an immensely talented, award-winning actor. Facing family turmoil, marital struggles, and personal tragedies, Paul still finds ways to make a difference with humanitarian work, such as the Newman's Own brand and the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. Over time, Paul's various endeavors bring the orphan and decorative sides of his persona closer together, adding depth and meaning to his life. The journey that The Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man takes the reader on is one of growth, introspection, and the pursuit of self-discovery, paving the way for an extraordinary legacy.